Hey everybody, it's Army Princess here and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are watching me for the very first time, I'm Army Princess, a U.S. Army soldier, and I've been in the military for over 10 years now, and I love sharing my experiences with you through my knowledge and my joy for the military. For those of you all who are returning subscribers, welcome back and thank you for being along on this journey. So I just recently did a video on how I style my hair for the military and how I do my makeup for work every day. But I thought I'd come on and talk to my new recruits, to the females that are joining the military, who are thinking about joining, who are interested in joining, or especially for my females who are about to leave within the next few weeks and few months. This video is for you. So in this video, I'm going to cover my top tips for having successful hair and basic training, if that makes any sense. There are things you have to worry about when it comes to your hair and basic training, and I want you to be in the know. So in this video, I'm going to cover top hairstyles for basic training. There are things that you need to consider when in basic training, styling your hair, doing your hair on an everyday basis, and I'm going to cover those top tips now in this video.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work.
All right. So let's get into it, sis. Let's get into it. You about to leave for basic training? I'm going to help you out. I got you covered. Okay. So quick story before I even get started. When I went to basic training, I had no clue about hair and basic training. I came with all of these multicolored hair ties and big braids. And my drill sergeant was like, pause for the cause, sis. You need to take that down ASAP. So he gave me like 3 days to take my hair down in basic training, and I only had an hour each day. So just think about trying to take individual braids down in an hour each day for 3 days, and you had to get them all down. Sometimes it takes people like a week to take down their micro braids and their individual braids. So I don't want this to be you. I don't want it to happen to you. So when it comes to your hair and basic training, I know you're probably thinking like, what is the best hairstyle for me? This doesn't necessarily have to just be for women of color. This could be for any woman that is joining the military. These are the top tips for you all. It's going to predominantly be geared towards women of color because most of the time I get questions from my natural ladies, but anybody can follow these tips. When it comes to having a successful hair journey in basic training, there are 2 things you need to remember: accessibility and maintenance. And when I say maintenance, I mean no maintenance. So the biggest things that you need to worry about when it comes to no maintenance is time. Time is money in basic training. In basic training, they are going to give you what's called hit times. Hit times are specific times that you need to be at specific places. And when I say the hit times could come back to back to back to back to back, you need to be there before the hit time. So 10 minutes prior, you're gonna learn this when it comes to the military. 10 minutes prior is on time. On time means you're late. What does that translate to in hair? That means you don't have a lot of time in the morning to do your hair. I remember when I went to basic training, we had to get up at 05. We had to make our bunks. We had to do all of our personal hygiene. And we had to be out in formation with our weapons in like 30 minutes. You don't have a lot of time to focus on your hair in basic training. So your hair needs to be little to no maintenance, and it needs to be accessible. The other things that you need to consider when it comes to your hair in basic training is that you're going to get dirty. You're going to get sweaty. Your hair is going to be a stinking mess, and you don't have time to fix it up perfectly every single day. You need to be able to wash your hair. People ask me about wigs. I do not suggest wigs, and I'll get into that later in this video. But you probably want to wash your hair throughout basic training. Basic training is 10 weeks long. I don't suggest anybody go 10 weeks without washing their hair, and some hairstyles will prevent you from washing your hair during basic training. So you need to be able to get to your hair and get to your scalp. So my top hairstyles for basic training would be the bun, similar to what I'm wearing now, or braids. This is the perfect segue to bring me into accessibility. My top hairstyles, like I mentioned before, were buns and braids. And I think that buns or braids are the best low to no maintenance hairstyle for basic training. The reason why I say that is that One, like I said, you're not going to have a lot of time. It's very quick and easy to throw your hair in a bun or to come with braids, and you don't have to worry about it at all. But the biggest thing that you have to remember is your headgear. So in basic training, you have to wear headgear every single day, and that goes for the Army as well. Once you leave basic training and you get into the regular Army, get into your units, coming to work every single day, you're going to have to wear headgear every single day. Plus, there are regulations on hair. So the regulation for hair, you can Google it. And you can Google it and look it up. I'm going to put some information below in the description box, so make sure you check that out. It's going to be the actual regulation for hair. But basically what it says is that you have to be able to wear your headgear at all times. You cannot have a hairstyle that's preventing you from wearing your headgear. So the bun is a perfect hairstyle for your headgear. You have your hair back in a low bun, not as high as this, because I definitely can't put my headgear on with my hair this high. But you need to have your hair in a low bun. That way you can put any type of patrol cap, any type of beret. For graduation, you're going to have to wear your beret. And then during training, especially when you go to the rifle range, you're going to have to wear what's called a Kevlar. You're going to have to wear what's called a Kevlar, and basically it's a helmet. It's going to cover your whole head. So you can't have a high bun. You can't have all that craziness going on, because you have to be able to wear your hair gear correctly. So for my ladies that have long hair, whether you're black, white, Asian, purple, brown, or yellow, if you have long hair, there is a regulation on your bun size. Your bun has to be a certain size, and I'm going to put that information here. So even if you can put your headgear on and you can wear it perfectly, if you walking around and your bun is looking like a donut on the back of your head, you are wrong, sis. You wrong, and somebody gonna tell you about yourself. So let me tell you first, before you go to basic training and you get embarrassed. I'm going to tell you first. Other things that you want to consider during basic training that may be somewhat of a hassle, depending on the time that you have in the mornings getting ready and the time that you have as far as maintenance and upkeep throughout the day, is hairpins, hair clips, hair ties, things of that nature. You are allowed to wear those things, but keep in mind there'll be times when you're taking your headgear on and off, you're taking your Kevlar on and off, you're doing some low crawling down in the dirt, and you don't want anything to come out or anything to get lost, and so now you've lost your hairpin, your bobby pin, and your hair is hanging down and you're going to get in trouble. So make sure you keep those things in mind when you're considering different hairstyles in basic training. The easiest thing, like I said, is to have your hair clipped back, tucked back, tight and neat, so that you have no issues throughout the day. Let's talk about cornrows. So cornrows are the other alternate hairstyle that I suggest for basic training, and the reason why I suggest cornrows for basic training is because it is literally no maintenance. And so there are regulations on cornrows as far as the braiding pattern, the width and size of the braid, and also keep in mind if you have a lot of bulky add-in hair, or what is it called? If you have a lot of bulky extensions added in your hair, it's going to make your bun very, very big, and there's a regulation on bun size. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to put up a few pictures here of what I think are good braid hairstyles for basic training. Let's get into my all-time hairstyle that I think is the easiest no maintenance hairstyle for anybody, whether you're black, white, yellow, brown, purple, or pink. I think that cornrows with your natural hair straight to the back is the best hairstyle for basic training. The reason why I say that is because this is a hairstyle that you can wear during the week. You can keep it braided up. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to manipulate it. On Saturday, Sunday, maybe when it's a light training day in the evening, you can wash your hair once a week, take it down, wash it, clean it, and braid it back up. For my ladies who are not braiders, find you somebody in basic training that can braid. I guarantee there's going to be one female in your platoon that can braid. It's just like that, sis. It's just how it is. So remember when I told you in the beginning of the video about the story about how my basic training drill sergeant made me take my braids down? After I took my braids down, I was like, what am I going to do with my hair? I found somebody that could braid, and I was like, give me those Clio set it off braids to the back, and I'm gonna rock with these. So I had the straight braids to the back looking like Cleo from Set It Off, but it allowed me to wear all of the headgear I needed to wear. I didn't have to worry about my hair in the morning when I had 0 dark 30 formations, and once a week I could take my hair down, shampoo it, wash it, and have the girl braid it back up, and I was good to go for the whole next week. I think that's the best hairstyle for anybody, any female going through basic training, for those reasons. Briefly, I'm going to talk about the hairstyles that I would not suggest you wear for basic training. And if you want me to do a separate video on that, I am more than willing to do that. Make sure you leave it below in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up and let me know that you want me to do a separate video of unauthorized hairstyles, because there are a lot of things that you cannot do, a lot of hairstyles you cannot wear in basic training when it comes to cut, when it comes to parts. There's a lot of things. So if you want me to do a separate video on that, make sure you comment it down below. But very quickly, the hairstyles that I would not suggest for basic training, my #1 hairstyle is a wig. The reason why I say wigs is because, like I said earlier, you're going to be taking stuff on and off all day. You're going to be low crawling in the dirt. And sis, you don't want to be the one where you take that Kevlar off and the wig come off with it. You don't want to be that one. So I would not suggest wigs. I would not suggest wigs. I know wigs, you can get them sewed down. Excuse me. I know wigs, you can get them sewed down, but wigs, they require some sort of maintenance underneath, and it's going to be very hard to wash your hair and let it fully dry with braids, with wet braids underneath. So I know there are a lot of people who do wash their sew-in weaves with braids underneath, but a lot of times you can allow time to let them dry. You won't be able to allow that time in basic training. Your hair could get muddy. It could get it's going to get dirty, especially when you have to do nick at night. You all will learn what nick at night is. But when you have to do nick at night and your hair is muddy and dirty, or you digging a foxhole sleeping position and you have to lay in that thing and your hair is dirty, you want to be able to cleanse your hair. You know, take it down, take it out, cleanse it. You may or may not have time to do those things. So for me, a weave is less maintenance than, you know, having your hair out, but it's still maintenance that is required, and you may not have the time to do it, and your hair is going to get dirty, and you may not have the time to wash it and keep it clean. The other thing I suggest is long hair. And like I spoke to my ladies with the long hair, if you do have long hair, you may want to consider cutting your hair some, at least, you know, maybe bra strap length, mid back length, so that your bun is not super huge, because your bun can be a hindrance when you wear that Kevlar. I'm telling y'all, the Kevlar comes down low, and your bun will be like on your neck, and it will be hard for you to, you know, use the weapon. You have to mount with the weapon. It's gonna just be a whole mess. So if your hair is very long and very thick, and your bun is going to be very big, then you may want to consider cutting your hair some for basic training. You don't have to, but it's just my suggestion. Okay guys, so that's it. Those are my top basic training hairstyles, the reason why I think they are the best hairstyles for basic training. And like I said, if you want to know what the unauthorized hairstyles are for basic training, let me know below in the comment section. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Hey, if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like, what are you waiting on? Go now.